Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dr. Gina Show. We are having some issues with speakers tonight, but Dr. Gina is right here with me. And here she is, without further ado. Dr. Gina, how are you?
Hello. Well, thank you, Shay. I want to thank my producer, Shay, and Matt for the show. Well, today's April 20th, so I know it's a big day in my father's life. It's probably a big day in a lot of you guys' life, 420. So, if that means something to you guys, I'll give a big 420 shout out. The coronavirus, I'm sure if you celebrate today, that's an extra special day. So I'm coming to you live from Jersey. I'm in South Jersey, right outside by Philadelphia. I escaped New York a couple weeks ago. It was just, the energy was crazy. I just felt like I needed some more space, so I came back home. And I've been back in my home here. This is the area that I spent most of my life. Well, actually, half and half, probably New York too. But I been back and forth from here and New York my whole life. But I've been here, and I tell you, getting used to the kind of Jersey life. I washed my car, completely detailed it myself the other day, and I'm just getting used to having a little more space, reconnecting to some of my friends down here. I'm definitely probably going to go back to New York. Right now, I'm probably thinking, I don't really miss it so much. But I know I do. I just know that I don't like it the way it is now. That's for sure. It's a different New York. It's different. There's all the things I love about New York have been taken away, my friends and training martial arts and the outside cafes, the coffee shops, just the gyms, just gatherings in the park, Union Square, just all the entertainment on the street. So much has been taken away. So that's probably why I'm just okay, cool being here in South Jersey, Philadelphia. So I'm pretty sure I'll probably go right back to New York because I've been to New York since I was 17 when I went to college at NYU, and I just been pretty much in New York most of the time, but back and forth. So anyway, I hope everyone's doing the best they can. I know this corona has everybody living some type of different lifestyle. It does affect everyone in some way. Of course, there's a scale of where it does affect people. Some people are really being hit hard financially. Some people are really being hit hard in mental ways, and a combination. And some people are actually liking it because they get to stay home and work and have their paychecks. Some people have people that are sick. I want to send out a lot of love to them. So this is definitely, it's not easier for one person than the other. I just say the situations are a lot different. So just when you think someone has a really good situation, don't always think that. So tonight's show is about relationship. And before I do a show, I'm always I was just telling Shay this before I started tonight's show. I usually like to give her the topic for the show so we can advertise it. I try to have at least 3 or 4 days ahead of time. But before I get a topic for my show, I always tell my clients, and I tell you guys this, I think Spirit has drugged me through so many things in my life since the day I was born, in this lifetime, not even to talk about past life, to bring me to the fact where I can be in the position I'm in now, and definitely having my doctorate degree, going as a therapist, physical therapist, occupational therapist, trainer, counselor, psychology major, just everything I've been through book-wise, but also definitely as far as relationships, not just intimate relationships, but relationships with family and friends. I do believe that God said, okay, listen, one day you're going to talk to a lot of people and help them. My grandmom said this to me one time. I remember being in her room. She's like, and this time I was in college, I was studying, she looked at me one day and she's like, you're going to really help a lot of people one day, Gene. You're going to make a big difference. You're going to write a book. And I was just like, 20 or something. I'm like, all right, Grandma, But then I just look back and I just know that everything I've been through, I believe has got me to the point, because I'll be talking to a client, and there could be, an older client, late 40s, 50s, and I'll just be like, yeah, I've been there. Or I'll be talking to a younger client, 20s, and I'll be like, yeah, I've been there. And I seem to be able to empathize with so many of these situations, and especially relationship-wise. And today I had tuned into, you're on Instagram, I tuned into, this is another medium, and I tuned into her show. Well, she was actually on Instagram Live, and I tuned into her show, and she was talking about relationships, and it was so weird because I already had that topic picked. So I was tuned in, and it gave me an insight specifically on some of the relationships. She was talking about toxic relationships, which we're going to get into a little bit, and realizing that, anyone that knows me or you've heard me talk, I've had my share of toxic relationships because I'm just regular Gina. And as a human, I've been through it. So as much as I have my degrees, I'm a counselor, I am regular Gina. So I've been through a lot, and I still struggle, just like hashtag pass your fucking test, just like my clients and everyone else does. So what I want to start out with tonight is to talk about relationship. And relationship is such a huge topic, huge, and it can be going in so many directions. So if I go off in different directions, I hope we can follow. So if you don't know me and this is your first time listening to the show, because I did put it on my Weird Weekend Behind the Third Eye, so if I have some new listeners tonight, I just want to explain a little bit about how I do this show. If you followed me on Girls versus Ghosts, and I used to have call-in, so my listeners could call in after my show, and we would take some personal questions, and I was able to channel the answers using spirit, my mediumship, or using my psychic ability. However, this show, we have a live chat, and Shay, my producer, she's on the chat, so she'll be able to direct questions while when I'm speaking. And after I'm done speaking, she comes on the show, and we address the questions, and I answer them. So the questions that we post in chat, feel free to be interactive with each other during the show and ask each other questions. When I come on, I'll be able to address some of the questions that are asked. However, because I do need some type of voice vibration or some kind of permission, I do not answer personal questions, but I will answer questions about the show or any topic that will help everybody universally. So that's how I work that part of the show. And when I'm speaking, I do channel a lot. So I will be channeling. Usually I channel the council. That's who I talk to. I do also have my spirit guides that I work with, and I do have other spirits that come in because they're experts in whatever topic it is. So if I'm channeling, they're giving me input. I also do use my clinical work, my degrees, and I give a lot of advice that way. And then you also get Gina, like my client calls me Gina from the block. So you get me a lot of regular Gina and some of the life things that I go through. Sometimes I don't even want to share everything with you that I've been through because it's either embarrassing or like, what the fuck did I do? And I'm sharing it with you guys. But I hear spirit say, oh, you have to share it. So I share it. And believe me, I've been through some shit, and you might read it in my book one day. So I do have this program, and it's called Mind, Body, Soul. And I work with some clients, just a few at a time, for 4 to 5 weeks. And we work on pretty much a lifestyle redesign program. And I do use my mediumship, my psychic work, all of my counseling, my exercise science, and everything. I can combine the program with a mind, body, soul. And what I do is I work on a relationship with self, with my client, to get to whatever manifestations or goals it is that they want to get to. And by, people talk about manifestations a lot. I talk about manifestations a lot. Everybody wants to manifest. People manifest they say, manifest during the full moon. They have certain times, or manifest here, or, I am a born witch, but do I do witch spells? No, I don't, I really don't. But do I being a born witch is just natural. It's just things that happen. I don't really have to write them out. I'm not the one that lights the candle and does the soup, does the witchy spell. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just that's not how I work. For manifestation, for me, it's always been something that has come easy and natural to me. I just really think of it, and it works, and it always has up until, like I always talk about, the last 5 years of my life when things went pretty crazy and I slipped out of my vibration. My vibration was definitely not where it should be. Not to say that it was so excellent before that, but as a human and living in this world, it gets destroyed. Because as I look back as a child, my manifestations came easy to me because I wasn't ruined by, living in the society, having relationships that will scar me. And if you work with me and you are one of my clients and I work with you in my program, I work with you one-on-one, yes, I have a degree in counseling, but I'm not the person that we do address your past in your relationships, whether that was with your mother, your father, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands. I do address it, but it's not something that on my program or my one-on-one counseling that I keep going back to. We address it and we look at it and we touch on it, but I don't like to keep bringing it up because I like to think of that as yesterday's vibration. And I'm not the counselor that keeps saying, oh, well, I understand you're this way because of this and this. I feel like let's heal those patterns, find your self-love, the relationship with yourself, because before you can have, this used to sound like bullshit. I even remember being a teenager, young 20s even, and people, you have to love yourself first. And I used to think, man, what the fuck does that mean, love yourself first? Like, bullshit, love yourself first. What do you got to do? Love yourself. Like, I never got it. And it's become so cliche now. It kind of makes me, I do say it, but it kind of makes me like I'm a little sick when these people are just like, love yourself. Oh, love yourself. I feel like they're like, the 60s people smoking weed going, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. Like, yeah, you have to love yourself, but, what does that mean? People get confused about a relationship with yourself. I don't even think people really understand, like, what is a healthy relationship with yourself? I'm telling you what, I'm still working on it. And I'm still trying to figure out, and it changes. And that's why with my program, my 3 circles, mind, body, soul, I'm continually with myself and my clients working those 3 circles to try to get the balance of what it is for love. Because, yes, you do have to love yourself. You do. I think of it like myself. I am my energy. I am everything I used to be in my past life. I am the human that I am now, and I'm everything that I will be in my future life. So I need to work. I don't work so much to be the best person I can be down here, to be everything I am here. I work to go through my lessons, to elevate my soul, because not that I don't strive to have and be everything here, to have all my material possessions, all this and all that. Yes, we're meant to have that, and that's supposed to be a plus to make, we're supposed to have whatever we need to make us happy, to grow, right? But the journey here is the relationship with your energy, your soul. It's not even so much love your soul, love your energy. It's just to share your soul, to share experiences with whoever it is that you're supposed to, whoever you're coming in contact with. We get all confused when we come down here with the relationships and things like that. We think, oh, I have to come down here and I'm going to be married, I'm going to have a bunch of kids, and we're going to live in this house, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. Well, even as a child, I never played with baby dolls, never ever, except for the one doll, which we'll get into another time about that. But I had one baby doll that I had for a short period of time. But I never wanted the baby dolls. I didn't want to push the coach. I never had Barbie and Ken married. I had Barbie in her townhouses. I never bought into that whole, I'm yours. I even have a problem when I was engaged being my fiance. Like, that word was weird. Even boyfriend, girlfriend, like the whole label thing for me, like, we're together. I get it. But I had a hard time with those labelings in relationships. Like, I didn't want to be owned here. And marriage was I'm not married to this day because I felt like I didn't want that. I don't know. Why am I signing something to someone? Like, it just never made sense to me. I'm not saying it's wrong. I respect anyone who wants it. It just was never my thing. And even, I love kids. I work with kids, and I love dogs. I love kids and dogs. But I have cats. It's a less of a responsibility. It maybe because it's my calling down here to not be so tied to other people's karma, whatever it is. But to have like a relationship with my soul, I feel like that's what I strive for, to have a good relationship with my soul. I want to know, and I do know, what my past lives were because I'm able to. And if you go to a good medium or psychic and you do work with someone like that, we can look at that. And to me, I know my past lives and I know where I've been to get to where I am. And I know what my soul work is. I know what I have to do. I know my soul's lessons. I know what I'm going through and what I have to learn. I know it, and it's still hard. So imagine if you don't know it, you get down here and you're so confused with these relationships and the have all, be all, end all, when it's just really so temporary. And you won't get so hung up on, oh my God. And trust me, regular Gina does. So don't think that, I could sound like a hypocrite here, but I channel a lot. So when you hear me and you'll be like, oh, but, regular Gina over here, she's fucking shit up. Yes, just know that I channel a lot of this stuff. So when you hear me say, doesn't mean regular Gina's doing it, okay? Because I'm fucking up. But the thing is, you have to have that love for your soul. You want to keep elevating your soul. So how do you do that? Well, you have to have a relationship with your soul. You have to listen to yourself. How do you do that? You have to meditate. You have to bring, and I always talk about the emotional scale. Pull that emotional scale up. You have to bring your vibration up to happiness. Keep your vibration high so that you can have a good relationship with your soul. Because your energy, your soul, that came here to experience everything you need to have physically, right? But it doesn't want to get stuck. You don't come here and say, I'm going to go down there and fail my test. I'm going to have a relationship. It's going to be an abusive relationship, and I'm going to fail. No, you say, I'm going to choose to go through this with this person, but you and the person choose to get through it. You don't say, I'm going to be stuck in it for 5 or 10 years. It's something that you're going to work through. But then our ego gets in the way, causes fear, and that causes us to be stuck in patterns of relationships that are unhealthy. So, I can always use me as an example here because, again, I fucked up. Back probably as long as I can remember back, I guess, 6th grade, I had, actually younger, kindergarten, 1st grade, I always had like 2 little quote unquote boyfriends, like, this Ricky and David was the first 2 I can remember. And they would be like my little boyfriends. I would go hang out with this one and that one. And I never could understand the concept of you have to have one. It just was weird to me. Like, why can't I have these 2? What's it matter? Like, as a kid, all the way up to like probably 6th, 8th grade, I had 2. I remember being called like a 2-timer or something as a kid. And I just never got the concept, like, what is it? You just have to have one. I didn't get it because I was a free soul. I was what that came down here, obviously seeing and talking to dead people since I can remember and knowing that I couldn't have any boundaries. I didn't want things. It was hard for me to be controlled. So I knew that really young. But then as I got into like probably 7th grade and I had, a little boyfriend, 7th, 8th, 9th, then I had the same boyfriend for a while. I realized like that then came in like jealousy and, I like this boy and he likes her. And I started having like jealousy and things started coming in. I started becoming like more, I guess, human, losing that energy. And I started going into everything society was telling me, like, you have to have this, you have to have that. And I became that way. And believe me, right now I go back and forth with that whole thing, that whole connection. It's hard. It's hard to be like a relationship. And once you find somebody that you can really connect to, you want them to be yours, you know? You don't want them to be somebody else's. And most likely, and this happens, you don't want to be with anyone else because you're so happy with that one person. Why would you want to be with somebody else, at least intimately? However, I still believe it's healthy to have other relationships of the opposite sex. But I do believe, and this is just my belief, and it's what I hear, and I could be wrong because I question it sometimes, that I feel like to be real intimate with someone, I feel like that connection is, in order to get it to the level, the soul level that you need or want to have that connection, I do feel like it does have to be like that one-on-one, because I believe that sex can transcend you into a soul level. And it's a connection that you don't really want to open up with everybody to let that energy go back and forth. And that's what I believe, and I'm not judging anyone who doesn't believe that, because like I said, I do believe in having that other friendship, but I believe that connection is a little different. But anyway, that's what I believe causes a lot of toxicity is the jealousy. If there was more of an open communication and people could understand where other people are coming from and communicate instead of the lies, like, and where the cheating happens, because if you want to have more than one partner or you want it, I think that if you voiced it to whoever it is rather than lie or say something else, it would cause a lot less problems, I think. But again, I'm just not saying this is perfect. But then what happens sometimes, and this happens to me, is you get with somebody, and probably when I was young, and then all of a sudden, say you're with someone and you might have you feel like they're telling you, oh, you know, I don't want you to go there. I don't want you to hang out with this person. And it becomes almost to you like, wow, they really like me. You know, they really must like me. They're jealous. And it becomes like cool that they're jealous because they want you. And this happened to me when I was younger. And I had this one boyfriend, and I thought, oh, well, that means he really likes me. And then I remember the jealousy went from jealousy to like throwing little pieces of paper at me or something. And I was like, okay, well, he's mad because I would always think I did something. I did this or I did that. And then throwing little pieces of paper goes to pushing. And then it goes to physical. And then once you get into, I was in a very physical relationship, very bad. And then I remember every time like he would get very physical, all I wanted to do after that was for him to say he was sorry, to make up to me, because I needed that after the whole physical abuse. And I got caught up into that pattern of a while. Probably I was with him for probably 2.5 years, but it didn't start till probably we moved in together. And then I kind of like get into shock about it. And I remember talking to my friends about it. And I had lost one of my really good friends because I would tell her and she just didn't want to hear about it no more. But I was so stuck. I was confused. I couldn't get out of it. Even when I had a black eye once, a broken collarbone, like went through it. But I got so stuck in this toxic relationship. I couldn't get myself out. It was almost like quicksand. I couldn't get out because I just wanted it to be better. I just thought I was, caught up in that relationship. I did finally get out, and how I finally got out is we moved into a house that had stairs, and I just think, looking at the stairs, and I had visions of like him throwing me down the stairs, breaking my neck, and being like fucking paralyzed or something. And I remember being able to get out of that relationship. But once you get stuck in, like, that was my first really toxic relationship, and I was a teenager. But once you get stuck into that type of toxic relationship, it fucks your energy up. And even though I got out of it and I had went right into another relationship, I got out of it, and I was never, I don't even understand why, I was never seen abuse or anything, but I wind up in one. But it takes a long time to get your energy right. And so I went back into another relationship that wasn't physically abusive like that, but it definitely had its jealousies and its arguments and cheating. And then I went to another one that, I must say I've been through 3 or 4 that was just very, very, very toxic in all ways. And it was because I didn't really take that time in between. It was one relationship after another to really look at myself and fix the relationship with myself so that my energy would change. So I kept getting different variations of the first relationship, and it just kept repeating itself. And it wasn't then, like I said, 5 years ago when my grandmother died, and my last long-term relationship, which was completely insanely crazy and toxic, he wound up going to prison, and I believe that was God, like, saving me from whatever would have been next and getting me out of that. But that time when he went to prison, it just gave me that time to be alone, but I really wasn't, because then I started seeing another couple relationships, and I never had given myself that time to really look and say, wow, like, I need to heal myself. And you really need that time, because you get so caught up in the relationship that you're in. And I know it because I've been through it, that you start forgetting who you are and what it is you want and you need. You almost become, and this is what's not healthy relationships, I'm telling you what's unhealthy. You become a part of trying to please them, or trying to not get yelled at from them, or trying to be acceptable for them, or looking for their love, that you kind of don't even remember who you are. And it wasn't even probably until recently, I'm even telling you, like 2.5, maybe 2 years ago, when I just really started looking at, like, what is it that I need? Because I kept changing into something that was unhealthy to be accepted or loved or whatever it was. And I realized that I'm in these relationships because I'm trying to be whatever it is that they want instead of being whatever it is I want. And believe me, it took so long to get to this point, and I still am trying to figure it out and get to the point where I create what it is that's healthy for me, my relationships, what I need. And yes, this Corona time is completely crazy, completely nuts. But if you're doing it the right way and you're definitely growing, it is giving us all the time to spend this time with ourselves, with our things. For me, again, I'm in my house in South Jersey. I've just been looking through some old boxes and some things in the basements and the attic, and I'm just looking through them, and I find everything of who I was and how much I changed from who I was, whether it's looking at, like, old CDs I found or an old shirt that I haven't seen in so long. And I realized, like, it's continuous work. If you stop working on yourself, kind of like a diet or an exercise program, that's what it's like to work on yourself. You're continually changing and growing, just like a diet, if you have an injury, or some people, when they get older, the metabolism or whatever it is, or different supplements you start to take, it changes. So does you, yourself, your soul. It grows and changes, and it's supposed to, because as we grow through our soul's life, we're supposed to encounter different things. It's the journey of the soul. It's our Akashic records. It's what we've written. So it's continuously changing. Your relationship can change. You work different jobs. You have different relationships with bosses. You become a boss. You have different relationships with children. You have children. You become a mother. You become a grandmother. You become an aunt. All these relationships, they continuously change you and make you grow as a soul. So it always goes back to self. Like, to me, I like to say, like, how am I being the best soul that I can? Where's my energy? I pull out the emotional scale. Am I down here in fear because I'm afraid of losing my job because I hate it? I don't show up on time. So I'm completely anxious and fear because I've created this because I hate my job. I have to go back to the emotional scale. I use it as my thermostat, and I go, okay, this job's not working because I'm in fear. How do I feel with this guy I'm dating? Oh, well, I'm fearful here, or I feel like I'm in lack, or I'm somewhere down there in the low emotional scale. Well, I got to fix it, because this relationship is not healthy because I look at the emotional scale. And I do have a lot of people that will be like, oh, I'm seeing this guy, but he has a girlfriend. And again, you can choose to do what you want. For me, like, that is definitely, like, if I know someone has a girlfriend, he's seeing someone, or even seeing someone, like, that doesn't work for me, because if I look at the emotional scale, I'm in guilt, because, like, I feel guilty. Like, how could you do that? That doesn't work. And if you're in guilt, it's one of the lowest emotions on the scale. So that doesn't work for me. If you can go and be that person and not feel any guilt or shame, because for me, like, that's shameful. Like, if I'm with somebody and they're, like, with somebody else, I feel like that's embarrassing and shameful. So I have to continuously pull out the emotional scale, look at my relationship. If I'm with a friend and I have a good friend and all they want to do is, like, talk about themselves and how about me and me, and can you answer this question for me and me, then I have to look at the emotional scale. I pull out the emotional scale. I'm like, where am I at? I'm not in happiness with this relationship. It's not like a give and take. It's give. And I keep looking at any of my relationships and I pull out the emotional scale. Where does it feel for me? Because we're just energy, and the emotional scale shows you energy. So I like to use that as my thermostat for relationships, to check it, to see where I'm at. And if you guys use that, believe me, it's good. And to keep trying to balance those three circles, because if I get all wrapped up in a relationship with somebody that I'm with, and I'm just like, okay, well, he wants me to not go out with my friends. He doesn't like that. Or he wants me to not wear this. Or he wants me to not post this on my Instagram. All of a sudden, I forget who I am. And I lose my soul. I lost myself already, because he wants. Well, what do I want? You got to look at, what do you want? What is, journal what it is that you want, because I've lost myself many times in what it is that they want, And then you're stuck being what it is they want. If that relationship doesn't work out, what have you created? You've created a model or a mold to what it is this guy wants, and now you're not with him no more, and you're on to the next guy, and you completely lose yourself, because now you're creating something, again, in this pattern for what this other guy wants. Well, where do you fit in all this? And this too, I was caught up in many times. So that's where love yourself comes in, I guess, a lot, because it's do what you want. Because if, like, I'm a vegetarian and my guy's a hunter, and he wants me to sit down and eat meat with him, and I do, because, like, that's what he does, I've went against everything that I am for what he is. And that you're forgetting who yourself is. So it always comes down to, and if you have to write it down, what it is that you want to remember, write it down, because sometimes I have to write it down, because I'll be forgetting. Like, I'll be watching movies, like action movies that I couldn't stand, because why? Because he wanted to watch it when I'd rather be watching, like, Lifetime or something. It just comes down to, I understand, like, a give and take, but go back to, if you have to visit yourself, meditate, journal, see who it is you really are. Love that person, and then share that person with someone else. But don't lose yourself in that relationship. Okay. So I hope you're interactive in chat, and I am going to come on pretty soon with Shay. But if you never listened before, what I always do is I give a universal reading. So I do use the tarot cards for this, and I always pick 5 cards. I use the Rider-Waite deck. I know you guys can't see it, but I have the Rider-Waite deck in my hand. So this message is, like, sometimes I give one whole message for the 5 cards, and sometimes I'll give, each card has a different message. But if this resonates with you, that means you're supposed to have listened, and this message is for you. So I shuffle the cards. Let's see. And then I draw 5. Okay. All right, so these are some good cards. All right, so just listen, guys, and again, if it resonates with you, it's for you. Okay, and it's going to be about relationships, and even the theme of the cards are about relationships. So someone that you're dealing with, he looks like he's very confused. He has 3 different paths that he can choose from, and he keeps fighting battles. He's not sure what path to choose. He's in confusion. He doesn't know where to go. So because of this guy may not be giving you a commitment. He can't give you what it is you want, he's not really even looking at you. All he's trying to figure out is what he needs in his path, in his life. And he's battling so much darkness. There's so much darkness that he's trying to overcome. He can't even look behind him to see what it is that you want or need. So just know that this has nothing to do with you. This is something you might have to reevaluate to see if, like, he's even ready to give you any of that attention or any of that commitment or anything you want, because he is very wrapped up in his life right now. This person, this message here, this is for somebody that is looks like they're seeing somebody, but they're not in a committed relationship yet. It looks like they're very happy with this person. There's a lot of love. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of like friendship. It's almost beautiful. It looks like you two just can sit together and bond with each other. You get lost with each other. You have a really good relationship. This relationship, I have to tell you, by summer, August, it looks like you'll be coming together more, like as a family or a commitment. So this relationship will be getting stronger. This message is for somebody that is looking for a different career. This is a woman, and she's looking for a career. This person has just been through something, so she either moved or she's moved into like a new career. So she's looking for something that is, she hasn't really figured it out yet. It's almost like she's waiting for a sign. She's waiting for a sign from God. She's waiting for something. She doesn't know where she wants to go yet. And this is dealing with, the reason she doesn't know is because she's kind of lost in what it is she wants. Does she want to move ahead with this relationship she's in, or does she want to stay alone? She's confused. She doesn't know whether this person is for her or whether she should move on. It looks like there's a child involved here. So either the person, the man has a child or she has a child. So this is a big factor in whether she's going to move on with him or not. This doesn't tell me how it's going to end because there's so many open questions here. But I have to tell you, I have to give advice to this woman, and the message is for her to just choose her path. Don't choose based on what she feels this man wants, or choose the path based on what he wants. To sit strong in what she wants and then move ahead with this relationship, but not until you figure out what it is that you want. Okay, this message is for someone that says you have to be patient. Be patient. Things are coming together. It's like you keep looking and wondering, like, you're looking at your relationship, you're like, you're not giving me everything I want. You're not giving me everything I need. But what you have to realize about this relationship is that give and take. It's a balance, back and forth. Don't keep looking for, what are you doing for me? What are you doing for me? You give, they give. You give, they give. Just know that it's a balance. You seem to be looking too much at what do you do for me, which is good. You need to look at what is it you're giving me? What do you do for me? But don't get so caught up in what are you doing for me. Try to give, too. Give without wanting to receive. So this looks like it's more of a balance and not so much of writing things off. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. Just go with the flow. It's a give and take. Okay, this message looks like this is definitely looks like a Leo. So this message is for a Leo. It looks like that things are really growing for you. Your relationship is growing. It looks like it's growing so slow. It's like, oh my God, you can barely see it grow. It looks like barren, but it has a really strong foundation, your relationship. And just know that it is growing and it is going to blossom into something really beautiful. And this does look, again, this is another August, September, where this relationship, where you think, like, is it even growing? But it really is, because what you don't see is how solid this root is, and it's going to turn out to be really beautiful. So give this relationship patience. So if any of those messages resonated for you, take them as yours. And I'm going to bring Shay on, and we're going to go through the questions in chat. So, hello, Shay.
Hey, girl.
Hello. I want to shout out to everyone that's listening, and if you're listening, feel free to type any questions in chat. I also want to send out a lot of love, and one of my special listeners, Michelle, who you know, Shay. I know
Yes.
she's getting checked out for the corona, so I want to give her a lot of love and light. Her sister-in-law did recover, if you guys remember last week when I said she would, she did. So that's really good. So I'm sending her out a little special shout-out for that.
Oh, well, my love and prayers to her.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so do we have any questions in chat?
Yeah, before we get to questions, I'm going to give out some special shout-outs here to the first few people in chat.
Okay.
So we have, of course, we have Matt. We have Mama Deb. Hi, Mom. Love you.
Hello.
And my mom loves
I
you.
love when your mom comes on, I know.
Yeah, I know. We have Rena. We have Mia, or me. Michelle.
Hello.
Joanna. Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Krista.
Krista.
I think I already said Rena, but just in case,
Yeah.
Rena's in here too. So.
Well, hi, everybody. Thank you for all listening. You know, I love when you shout out in chat. I know a lot of people message me later, and I know you're listening.
Yes.
You're just not in chat, but thank
Yes.
you all.
Yes.
So
And,
I appreciate everyone for listening.
And Teresa.
So
Teresa just popped in. Hi, Teresa. Thank you. A lot of people pop in when you start doing the question part, so that's when they chime in.
Well, good. I hope the messages resonate because I know some of the people that are out there, these messages were for them, for sure, some of the names I heard.
Yes.
So I hope the messages resonated. My friend Joy just texted me that she can't get on the chat. But hi, Joy, she can't get on the chat, but
all right,
hello.
well, have Joyce, you'll have to message me Joyce's first and last name on Facebook and have her send me a message, and I can explain to her step by step. I don't want to give my personal information out, but if she's a friend of yours, I will do it.
Yeah.
And I'll help her.
Yeah, Joy's very computer literate, so it's easy for her.
Okay.
You just go to Paranormal Buzz Radio, the Dr. Gina Show, and then click the little chat button.
Yeah, but you have to create an account first, and you can do that right through Facebook. It takes 2 seconds. It's really easy. But I don't mind helping people get through those processes, those first steps. So
that's why a lot of people don't do chat, but it's not that hard.
Oh yeah.
And she just listen. If I could do it, because when I was doing it, it's not that hard.
Oh no, I get you. Trust me. I've learned a lot in the past year and a half or 2 years. So.
Me too.
So before we get to the first question, I want to read Mish L. She knows who she is, but this is what she says. Thank you, Gina. I so needed to hear that. We must take care of ourselves first. Be selfish. We come first. Never let a man dictate what you should do or how you can act.
Yes. I mean, like I said, I don't think, I definitely was almost caught up in that, and then my rebellious side would just definitely not let that happen. But it's hard. I can't say it's easy. Sometimes you get caught up in that, but you got to just keep. And a good way not to do that, I found, is to just take that time at night to meditate and journal. Because sometimes during the day, still, I forget who I am. I'll look at myself in the mirror sometimes and I look deep into my eyes and into my soul. Because, I completely forget who I am, man. And I just got to figure it out. I got to look and where the fuck is Gina, man? And I meditate and I journal and I figure out who I am.
I think as women, I can't speak for men because I'm not a man. So it's nothing sexist, but I'm a woman, so I can speak for women. As a woman, I can say, we've all been there. We've all done that.
Yeah. It's not... Oh, man. The journey of the soul. It's one hell of a journey. It is. And it's just kind of just keep finding out, who you are, man. You just got to keep reconnecting with it. Exactly. Reconnecting. And it's not easy. I'm telling you, all my friends in here, all my clients who know me, like regular Gina from the block, man, I gotta keep reconnecting. And I'm fucking crazy too. To top it off, like, I gotta keep readjusting myself. And sometimes I get shut down. I can't talk to people because regular Gina gets nuts. And I have to just keep trying to reconnect and find that little good soul somewhere deep inside, that person that I want to be, and just be that sweet person. Because I just sometimes want to just say, fuck you, and fucking choke somebody. And that's why I do martial arts. It's just hard. You got to just keep trying to find that calm.
Exactly. Denise said she got into chat for the first time tonight. She created an account. So did Joy. So welcome, Joy. Welcome, Denise. Thank you, guys. Here's our first question.
Okay.
It's from Rena.
Mm-hmm.
My relationship with my immediate family has always been tumultuous. I don't know how to have a relationship with my mom or brother that isn't centered around anger and fighting. What's their problem? LOL.
Okay.
But really, what can I do to keep peace with them?
Okay, this is good. So I definitely had issues with family and do have issues with family. And I remember being so caught up, again, this 5 years of hell that I had, the transition period. But probably 3 years ago when I was really in it, I was really so stressed out with my family. And it was a lot of me being like resentful and jealous, or why not me, or what about me, and
right.
Do this for me, I want this, or I want that, you didn't do this. And I guess it was more or less me kept turning it back to, I wanted them to be something they weren't on their journey in order to serve what it is my needs were. And it was so difficult for me to face that, because it was easier for me to say, you didn't do this for me, and I want this, and you're not doing this. And then, again, all the work that I've done and everything, and channeling helps, obviously, I was able to just say, hey, man, that's their journey, and I can't change it. I have to look at where I'm at. And that meant, I had to cut them off for a while, or just, make it short. And just every time there would be some type of argument, I'd say, I love you. And I was working things out with myself. And it comes back to, like I said, it's the relationship with yourself. Because the more I got caught up in what it is they weren't doing, what it is they're doing to me, it all came back to, I couldn't control that. Right. What I could control was myself and how I feel. And I had to stop asking for things, stop wanting things, stop being disappointed, and just be who I was. And the more I was being who I was, the less and less it bothers me. And it doesn't now. Nothing. I don't care. And believe me, I never thought I'd be there. I don't care. I don't argue. I don't do any of that. I just let it go. And it's not easy, but if I kept turning it around to, what am I going to do better? So if it was something where, like, oh, but my dad, or, whoever, my dad, he didn't do this for me, or he's doing this, I'd just be like, oh, well, what am I going to do it for myself? Because I'm expecting him to do it, or say this, or act that way, or do this, but that has nothing to do with them. And this is as far as men relationships, too. It comes back to whatever you can control. Control yourself. Control yourself. Give yourself what it is you need. Feed yourself. Don't get taken advantage of. Stand up for yourself. Don't give in to things. Say no and not give a fuck. Say you're not going to do it. Say you're not going there. You're not going to do this. And don't give a fuck and hang up the phone. And I sleep like a baby. Before, I used to be like, I don't want to come over. This is with a guy or whatever. Oh, no, I can't not answer the phone because he's going to want me to come and I can't say no. Now I'm just like, nope, good night. And I don't give a fuck. But there was times where I'd be so bad, or I'd actually go and do whatever it was I didn't want to do. But I haven't done that in probably a long time, probably over a year. And that, it seems like, wow, finally, but I don't do it. And it just comes back to relationship for yourself. Pull out the emotional scale. How does this make me feel? Because I don't give a fuck how they feel. I don't give a fuck. It's about me, because they're never going to get anything good from me unless I feel good. Yeah. So, let's see. Does that answer her question?
Sorry, I was typing and coughing. I apologize for ruining Gina's show with my cough. I can't help it.
Oh, no, come on.
All right, Krista. Krista wants to know, what do mixed feelings in a relationship mean? Is it a reflection of our own internal issues, or is it because the person is not good for us? Good question.
Yes, good feeling. A question. So mixed feelings. So like I'll be like, I fucking hate him. I fucking love him. That's just usually it's a balance with the ego and the soul. Like, man, I fucking hate him. Usually fucking hate him because he's not doing what I want to do, what him to do. And again, it comes back to, if I fucking hate him and he's doing something or that's driving me crazy, I got to go look at myself. Am I settling? Am I settling for this? What it is that I want? Oh man, like I hate when he doesn't, show up, or he didn't call me on time, or I hate that. Like, why am I mad at him for it? I gotta either get out of it or change it, because if I'm not happy with what they're doing, I can't control it. The only thing I can control is what I accept and what I do. And it's only me that I have. So mixed feelings is you fighting with yourself. It's your ego fighting with your soul, saying, hey, bitch, your soul don't like this shit. You're not going to take this shit. Why are you doing it? It's a message to yourself. When there's mixed feeling, it's your soul talking to your stupid human, saying, like, this is unacceptable. You're failing your fucking test. You're not riding high on the energy scale. Mixed emotions is an internal battle that you're having with yourself, because you're settling for things and you're breaking your boundaries, and your soul is going, your higher self is going, the fuck are you doing? You're failing your test here. Mixed emotions is a red flag. So.
I was trying to follow that. So mixed emotions equals red flag?
Wait, mixed emotions is pretty much your soul. So here, an example. You're staying within a relationship with a guy, right, that tells you what to wear.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck, man, I want to wear this, and he says I look like a slut. And it's your soul saying, listen, this is not right. You don't look like a slut. It's a mixed emotions is kind of something. So it's telling you something's not right. Something's not right, because if
you're trying to justify it.
Yes, it's an argument with your higher self, your soul, your higher self, and your brain. Because your brain is all fucked up and programmed, subconscious mind, society, and your soul's saying, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. Wake up, your spirit guide, something's wrong, something's wrong. Spirit, something's wrong. And your subconscious mind is fighting. It's a battle.
Yeah. I get it.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Denise Haggerty. And Denise, I would say your second last name, but forgive me.
I know Denise.
I have no idea what that last name is. She says you are a sweet person. And I said, yes, she is. She is a lot like me, hard on the outside, but soft on the inside. And she said she grew up with you. And you could be a little bit rough, but once you got to know her, you're a beautiful soul, and I agree.
Well, thank you. That was nice.
I didn't want to butcher her last name, so. Mama Deb wants to know, do you feel everyone has only one soulmate? Ooh.
Yeah, that's so funny. I remember fighting with my boyfriend at the time about this. I was with I brought him to some psychic intuition gallery, and this question came up, and I was probably new. I was 20 something, So I wasn't really, I wasn't channeling that much. If I wasn't taking it in, and I was there with a bunch of other psychics and stuff. And it was a controlling asshole relationship I was in. It's so funny. This is a great question. And what the question came up about that, and the girls were saying, the psychics were answering the question, and they were saying, no, you can have more than one soulmate. And this controlling asshole was so mad that they were saying this. He was ruining the whole dinner, and he's going, because he wanted me to be his only soulmate, So, and I'm just listening. He's going, and he's going, no, there's only one soulmate, and he's not psychic or whatever. And he was so pissed off because he wanted not to make me think there was more than one soulmate, that he was my only soulmate. And at the time, I really wasn't sure about that question. I didn't really know, And he was convincing me and telling me that he didn't want me to go to any more of the psychic dinners, and they're all assholes, and there's only one soulmate. And and he was so controlling. He just wanted to control that question. And it's funny that I forgot about it till now. And here, these years later, I clearly know there's more than one soulmate. But,
there's
at
different
the time,
kinds, right?
Yeah, there's more than one soulmate.
A soulmate doesn't mean you're going to be in love. Sorry, I'm taking over your show for a second. But a soulmate doesn't mean this is a person you're going to end up with in love and have children with over and over in every life. This is just somebody.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's deeper.
Soul. I don't even like to call it a soulmate.
Yeah.
What I say is soul family. Your soul family. Your mother might not even be your soul family in your life, But, obviously if I'm doing a psychic mediumship, I can tell. And I'll just be, that's your soul family. Your soul family could be your soulmate, brother, sister, friend, whatever. The soul family, boyfriend, girlfriend. A twin flame. Mind you, these words are all coined, okay?
Yeah.
So twin flame, that would be more or less, is that the one person in your life that you come here to have a bond with? That could possibly just be that one twin flame for sure. But soulmate, there's many. There's many. You cross the path of many soulmates for sure. But when you find that soulmate who is like that connection where you came here to have a soul bond because you are a soul family, yeah, you feel it. But there's not just, it's a soul family. A soulmate would just be that part of your soul family decided to come as a female or male, and you came as a female, male, or even, same sex, whatever you bond with. So it's just part of your soul family where you have a soul connection.
Right.
It's just the way to use the term gets confusing.
No. All right, I get it. All right, we have one more question. You ready?
Yes.
All right, Rena. Let's see. Rena wants to know. Hold on. Sorry, guys, I have a migraine. I'm reading the best I can. I'm sorry.
No, Shay.
I'm trying here. Rena wants to know, as a single person in quarantine and wanting a relationship, how do I date, or when will I be able to meet someone? Is that even possible? Gina, answer that carefully.
Well, let me just tell you that, this isn't going to last forever. So we'll be back into regular dating soon, So, use this time to really prepare yourself to meet that person. So doing your inner work, getting to know yourself, I know you've been doing it, Rena, but just prepare yourself for the person. In the meantime, I know you're on some of the apps, just swiping and, trying to prepare the setup for once you get out of there. It's just about preparation time now to meet somebody. The quarantine isn't really a holdup to meet somebody. It's not. It's just a different phase. Maybe you won't be able to physically see them right now, but that's not even true. That can be different. But I don't say quarantine is going to kill the dating life, because first of all, again, it's almost over. We will go through this and we'll be regular again, but you can still meet people and spend, I know people are having virtual dates, which is pretty cool. They meet people and they hang out online. Like for me, I've never been on a dating app. I don't think I ever could. I don't even do FaceTime. I can't stand it. But, if you can, that'll work. If not, then you just have a phone conversation, or, you just, even now with the social distancing, it's like you can still get out and if you're going to meet somebody, you're going to meet them. You're going to meet them. Like, I know this. I know it. I know it. It's not a deterrent. It's just, it's a different way. But don't let it be a deterrent.
That's a good answer. I like it.
Thank you.
I think that is all of our questions.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone who tuned in to the show. Always want to thank my producers, Matt and Shay, for coming on my show and always interacting and being part of this show. She is always a part of the Dr. Gina show, and I'm very grateful for both of them. And thank you, everyone. I want to thank Denise for my little special comment. That was really nice. And it's funny because a lot of people will say, like she said, I come off hard, but it's not even like I come off hard. I think it's just that I'm I got to know people first. I'm cautious. I always want to, I protect, and I know my friend Joy's listening. She knows this for sure. Like, I'm not easy to warm up to, but if I do let you in, that means, you've been tested.
That's why we get along. I'm the same way. I have this hardcore personification of me but it's just because I'm so soft on the inside, I get hurt and I have to protect myself. And I think that's the same for you. No matter what you say, I think that is the same for you.
Yeah, it's just, I just don't have time for anything else nowadays.
Matt says, thanks, Gina, we love you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
My producers.
Yes, we love you. We do.
Oh, I love you guys. Thank you. You make this show possible. I hope people learn from it. I actually learn from it when I channel. I grow from it. So I love this opportunity because I actually learn from it. And if you can always go back and listen to my past episodes on ParanormalBuzzRadio.com. And I do have some episodes and some lives and stuff on my YouTube.
Yes.
And when I go back and listen to them, I'm like,
you're on iHeartRadio, Deezer, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and many, many more. So people can find you wherever they want to. And if you can't find her somewhere, you let me know, and I will make sure she gets there.
I'm fucking easy to find.
You are. You really are,
Scary.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you. And next time I talk to you guys will be 2 weeks from now on a Monday. Hopefully we'll be getting through this corona and send out a lot of love and healing to everybody and try to love thy neighbor at this time because it's a tough time.
It is. So love and prayers to everybody. Try to stay positive. That's my advice. I'm not a doctor, and I've never taken college courses on this, but stay positive. That's the best you can do.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. All right, everyone. So I will talk to you all, and please feel free to, like I always say, leave me, go to I'm not really big on inboxes. I have to tell you, I probably don't read or I skip a lot, but go to Psychic Medium Gina Marie. You can leave a comment. If you want to hear something, leave a comment about the show, and I do try to read all the comments.
Or you can email us at paranormalbuzzradio@gmail.com, and I will pass on the message as long as it's good. No, I pass on good and bad, but if it's good, definitely, So.
All right. Well, thank you all, and have a good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.